Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just want to do a follow-up on the previous video where we've increased our range by a fair amount, and I wanted to see how far we can push our damage and see what we can do with the current damage that we have right now. So let's have a quick look at the range. So I'm currently at just under 700k. The reason why my range is a little bit higher than it was in the previous video is because I managed to cube my secondary to legendary. It was so lucky, like when I was just cubing it because I just felt like it, I had 6% attack on it and I wanted to roll it for at least 2 lines of attack, but it tiered up to unique. And then I think I ran out of money at some point, so I had to go sell some stuff. And then I came back and cubed a little bit more and it accidentally went up to legendary. This time I actually had footage of me tearing this up to legendary. I was incredibly lucky. It was like in 20 red cubes or something like that. Something ridiculously low. So really big increase, and I just cubed it for 1 line of attack, and I think this is fine for the time being. I'll come back to it later. Everything else though I don't think has changed. I've tried reflaming the pink bean cup a little bit, and right now it doesn't it doesn't add anything for me. But yeah, so other than that, today I wanted to go through some of the dailies that I've been doing to try to progress my character. So let's start off by finally getting our Von Leon ring. You can see here I've got 9 accessories, so let's quickly get our 10th one and get our Noble Ifer ring. So now that we've got our 10th accessory, we can talk to Queen Ifer and finish her quest. So there we go, we traded it all for the Noble Ifer ring. Nice. So let's quickly Star Force this up and see what we get from our epic potential. Now we're going to epic potential this. Got a few scrolls from New Garden, so hopefully one of these work. Oh my god, I panicked a little bit, nothing happened there. Alright, cool. Let's reveal the potential. Do I have any stamps? No, that's okay. So you can see that this ring is better than the Platinum Cross ring, even without a potential. Well, mostly without a potential. So let's equip this. Also for future reference, to compare your rings with each other, if you highlight over it and then press your middle mouse key, you'll be able to scroll through the rings so you can compare them better. So now that we've got our Noble Ifer ring, this is pretty much our complete ring setup. We're not gonna try to get anything else here. What I recommend for new players, if you guys are coming back, try to watch out for the events that come around, because a lot of the events do give nice rings that give a nice amount of stat. And the event rings are about as good as, I think, 17 starred rings, which is an insane amount of value. And they're usually pretty easy to get from the events. So what I'd recommend you guys do is try to replace the Ifer ring and the treasure ring with event rings, and they'll be really good. And worst case scenario is you can always keep these rings to use for drop gear later on down the track. So from this point onwards, this is the gear that I'm going to be sticking with and going to be trying to recube, so then I get better stats. As you can see, obviously this ring we just got, it's not very good. It's only got 10 star with basically a blank potential. I tried re-rolling the treasure ring as well, but it's currently sitting on 12% luck, which isn't very useful for a warrior. Other than that, everything else hasn't been changed. I've already mentioned my shield, which is a legendary now, which is nice. My main goal moving forward is to get at least both these rings to 9% strength, and then getting my emblem also to legendary, and then my weapon to legendary. Now the reason why I want the weapon and the emblem to legendary is because of 2 things. The first one is I want a higher attack percentage. As you can see on my shield, it's got 9% attack. Ideally I want at least 1 attack line on each of those. And another line that I do want as well is lines of either boss damage or IED. Now, for those who don't know about those 2 stats, they're these ones here, boss damage and ignore defense. these need to be a certain number for us to do a good amount of damage on the Root Abyss bosses. Don't forget, we haven't put any of our hyperstats in either one of these, so this can be boosted with our hyperstats once we reset it, because I have a lot of points in Arcane Force and bonus EXP. So once that gets redistributed into these stats, our damage will go up a bit. So the numbers, ideally what I'm going for is at least 100 to 120% boss damage and roughly 80 to 85 ignore defense. That should be enough for me to attempt CRA. And to do that, we'll definitely need to recube our weapon, secondary, and emblem to legendary with 1 attack line and then 1 extra line of whatever we get. So that's going to be what I'm working towards. Another thing that I'll be working towards is, of course, upgrading the Arcane symbol. This gives us a big amount of stat. I'm trying not to rush myself because I don't like burning out on the game just doing dailies every day. So I just do whatever I feel like per day, and then after I do that, I, kind of take it easy. So obviously we'll be doing our dailies to get this to a high level. And another thing that I've started doing is the Vanishing Journey PQ. I didn't mention this in my previous video because it's quite difficult to do with little range at level 200, but now that we're actually decently strong now, we can do this, which is the Urda Spectrum PQ. So you can do this by yourself. You just need to be in a party and you can go through this PQ. The PQ is split into 3 sections. I'll just quickly go through it. The first part is killing these Urdas. And every time you kill them, you can see the Urda count at the top is increasing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just get this Urda score to about 60, 65. I'm at about 70 Urda score right now. You can increase this by killing these guys, but you can also sit in these little blue circles that spawn every once in a while and they give you 10 each. Which is nice as well. Speeds it up a little bit. So after you do this, you can interact with this thing in the middle and then it will cause this little thing to change color. And what you can do is you can use your regular attack to hit it and it will spawn balls. And what you will need to do is you need to push these balls towards the goals. So you can see the blues on the right side and that means the reds on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove these balls towards the red side. So the red balls are worth 1 each and the purple ones are worth 2. You can also do the blue side, but I prefer doing red for a reason I'll show you guys in a bit. To make this faster, you can jump and press your interact key at the same time, so then you can push it a bit faster, like I'm doing here. Just be careful of these red lines. If there are any balls on those red lines, it will kill the balls, and you'll have to go get some more. So as you can see, after I get 10 score, I get teleported to one of these 2 maps. So this is the preferred map. This is why I do red, because you have a high chance of getting this map. And it's nice and easy. So you just got to kill these worms and then it increases your Urda score at the top. And then you just stand on this middle thing and hold down your interact key to shove the worm back into the cave. So this is the 5th one here. It should take a couple of minutes to finish the PQ. And there we go. We can talk to her again, and she'll give us 2 symbols. So you can do that PQ 3 times a day. I'll probably do the rest of the PQ off camera. So make sure you do that every day 3 times, so then you can get these extra symbols. Of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, because it is optional. And I do personally find this PQ to be quite boring, so I do skip on this every once in a while as well. So other than Von Leon, I wanted to go through some of the other bosses that I do on a daily basis. So obviously, Von Leon was because we wanted to get the accessories, but also because he gives us 7 mil for the crystal that he drops, which is a nice amount. So I wanted to do the most valuable bosses, the ones that give us the most amount of money, and also good drops as well. So Pink Bean is one of them. Killing Pink Bean gives us a chance of dropping another cup, and the cup might have better flames than the one we're currently using. So unfortunately we didn't get a cup from this run, but it's good to do Pink Bean because he also has the chance of dropping Meister Cubes, Master Craftsman's Cubes and Flames and stuff like that. So he's a pretty nice boss to do, he has a chance of dropping nice stuff. So after doing Pink Bean, I like to do Arcane because he's close by. Also killing Arcane gives us a chance at getting Primal Essences, which is nice, and also the chance of getting Dominator Pendant, which is what we'll need later on. But the drop rate for both of those is extremely low, but you might as well try. Also, one of the recipes that he drops is really handy for later on, especially if this is your main character, or even if it's not your main character, is two things, the EXP accumulation potion and the wealth acquisition potion. Both of these guys will give you a nice amount of money and EXP later down the track. Probably won't be able to use it now efficiently, but definitely hold on to these. One of the great things about being a Paladin is just being able to tank the screen crack, which is nice. If you can't tank the screen crack, make sure you use your iframe if you have any. So I just killed Arcane. Unfortunately, I didn't get any more of the recipes, and I didn't get the drop. But that's fine. So after Arcane, I like to do hard ranmaru. There's a few reasons why I like to do ranmaru. The first one is that he has a high drop of flames, which is nice. It's just free money, basically. He also drops a 7 mil crystal, which is nice for a boss as well that we can do. And the third reason is because he drops these ranmaru accessories. So the shoulder and the cape. And we'll need this later down the track when we try to upgrade our Absalab gear. Because we do need a level 150 item to Star Force onto the cape. Also got this nice unique shoulder that I can use, but it's worse than the Hayato's treasure. But it dropped as unique, which is cool. Anyway, let's kill ranmaru. Alright, there we go. Let's see what we got. We got a shoe. And that's about it. The shoes are good to keep as well because we can transfer those onto our Absalab as well. So make sure you hold on to pretty much anything that ranmaru drops. So at this point we're actually strong enough to kill normal Magnus. You can see here it's like right after reset, so everybody is crowding around this area to do hard Magnus, but we won't be able to do that anytime soon. But we'll do normal Magnus for a few reasons. The first reason, of course, is like every other boss, he drops a lot of money in terms of the crystal. He also drops cubes and flames, which is nice. And he also, for those who haven't got the Magnus badge yet, he's got a higher drop rate on this, so doing this will be very good. And also at this range, it's not like a super fast, comfortable kill. You can see I'm buffed up like 900k here because of all the buffs that's happening inside the room, and also the pink bean buff. The boss is still tricky because he's basically hard Magnus with a smaller HP pool. So this is not a bad way to practice for the mechanics for hard Magnus. As you can see, it's not a completely easy boss. Even as a Paladin, and I kind of like cheesed a lot of his mechanics, still took a little bit of effort, but it's good practice. So you can familiarize yourself with your class and how it has to move within the fight. I'll go into more detail when we actually get to hard Magnus about the boss fight, but until then, just practice on normal Magnus. If you're finding it too difficult to do, you can just skip it because it can be quite stressful, especially if you're not familiar with the mechanics. So just do whatever you are more familiar with and more comfortable with. So this video was a bit more of a shorter update video and just showing you guys what I do on a daily basis other than just Vanishing Journey. And also wanted to show you guys what bosses you can do to make more money so then you guys can upgrade your gear a lot faster. Because of course, most of our money will come from either Ursus or Maplestory at this point, but it doesn't mean that we can't make more money on the side while practicing our boss mechanics. To recap the bosses that we've done so far today, we've done Hard Von Leon, of course, to finish off our Noble Eiffel ring. Even though that the ring is already complete, I would still do it because he does drop a nice amount of money in terms of the crystal. We have our normal pink bean, so then we have our chances of getting the pink bean cup and other items including flames and cubes. And we're doing easy Arcane, so then we can get our chances at a Dominator Pendant or Primal Essence. And honestly, more importantly, the recipes for the EXP accumulation potion for later on down the track, and the wealth acquisition potion, because this will give us a lot of income once we hit the higher level areas in the Arcane River. We're going to be doing hard ranmaru as well because he has a chance of giving flames and cubes, along with the level 150 equips that we will be using to transpose into our Absalab gear later down the track. So we've got the shoulder, the cape, the gloves, and the shoes that he can drop. We have normal Magnus as well for those who haven't got their Magnus badge yet. At this point in the game, you are strong enough to kill normal Magnus with a little bit of a struggle. Of course, you don't have to do normal Magnus because it can be quite frustrating because he is a RNG reliant boss. But if you are playing a class that is strong at bossing, like a hero, or ignorant classes like Paladins, you'll be able to clear it no problem. We also went through doing the PQ for Vanishing Journey. If you guys want a more in-depth guide on doing the PQ, let me know, because I kind of just did a really brief rundown. But we do the PQ so we can get some more symbols. Like I said, I didn't recommend this earlier on in the series once we hit 200 because our range was a little bit on the lower side and it can be quite difficult to consistently clear it, especially if we don't get the easy PQ section, like the one I showed on camera. To wrap up the video, I wanted to talk a little bit about Links and Legion because even though I'm not using it, it doesn't mean that you guys shouldn't. In my opinion, Links and Legion is the easiest way for you guys to increase your range and increase your damage. Especially because you're at the point where all your gains are going to be coming from the items that you have through the flames and the potential and the star forcing. But the Links and Legion are costless, free investments basically. The only thing you're investing is a bit of your time to try to get them to either level 70 or level 120, and it'll give you a significant amount of boost. I wanted to talk a little bit about our nodes. Nodes is a really important part of Maplestory because it adds a lot of damage and it has a lot of utility for our characters. To access your nodes, you can go to either Vanishing Journey or Choo Choo, and you will have a node master you can talk to. So I won't go into too much detail in this video. I'll make a separate video detailing exactly what this whole V matrix thing is about because it is quite confusing, especially for new players because this is a completely different system from what we're used to so far, where it's just like leveling up our skills and whatnot. So I won't go into detail, but I will talk a little bit about what I'm aiming for with regarding the nodes. There are 3 nodes in particular that I'm aiming for. The first node is Holy Symbol. So obviously as a bishop or a phantom you don't need this. But as every other class, you definitely want Holy Symbol for 2 reasons. One is obviously the main aspect of getting extra EXP. That will always help us with our training, and it's basically 100% uptime if we do get this node, so a decent Holy Symbol helps a lot in that aspect. The second thing is it increases our drop rate as well, which makes our drop rates for our bosses a lot better. It will help us for training because we have a higher chance of getting more node stones as well. So as soon as I can, I'll be getting the Holy Symbol node. The second one I need to talk about is decent sharp eyes. One of the hardest things to do in early game Maplestory is trying to get a 100% crit rate. There's a lot of different ways to get a 100% crit rate, but the easiest ways to do it is through our legions and links. And because I don't have access to either of those on this character, I definitely will need decent sharp eyes, otherwise I just won't hit the cap. And the third node isn't a bossing node or a training node, it's a convenience node, which is Rope Lift. This is particularly useful for any classes that have bad vertical mobility, so classes like mages and explorer warriors. And I'm sure there's plenty of other classes that have issues with this. Having Rope Lift will just increase our quality of life, and it just makes the game more enjoyable, being able to move around the maps a little bit easier. I won't be releasing another video until I hit level 205, because up to there, it's just going to be a continuous cycle of doing bosses and dailies until I get to that point. And the reason why it takes a while for me to get these videos up is because I don't usually like grinding. As you can tell, it's been like 5 days and I have barely leveled up. Because I don't like burning out, and I also only do the things that I find enjoyable. If I feel like doing my dailies, that's when I do it. And that's like the mindset that I'm going into this series. It's not like a rush series where I'm trying to get to be as strong as possible as fast as I can. Because if I wanted to do that, I would just make a farming Kana and then just farm and then just give all the money to this character and then gear it up. But that's not fun. It's not enjoyable for me to just sit down and just farm money. So hopefully you guys are understanding with regarding that. Anyway guys, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to see any specific content, let me know in the comments below. Things like bossing videos or gear videos and stuff like that. I have a lot of ideas of what I can do, but I don't know what you guys want. I want to make content that you guys will find useful, so please let me know what you guys want to see from me. And with that, I don't have anything more to say. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this series. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys' support. And have a nice day.